indicating his decision to resign his position as a member of the Hickman Mills C1 Board of Education. Um, I know you all have received that letter, so I will not read it out loud to you, but it is up there um, on the screen. And so at this time, we have a vacancy. Board policy requires us to announce the vacancy at a regularly scheduled board meeting that is being done today. Um, and so, board, you have a vacancy on this board, and you've got a decision to make with regard to how what you want to do with that vacancy. Um, yes. So I think at this time I was going to turn it back over to the superintendent for a presentation to Mr. McGee. Um,
Thank you, Attorney Fields Johnson. This is an opportunity for us to recognize our past president, Duran McGee. As you note from the letter, there are quite a few accomplishments in a short period of time working with the board and the district, and we felt that it was noteworthy at this time to acknowledge those contributions as he moves on to a greater endeavor at the county level. But I know that he will not forget us, and he will continue to support us, and his heart is with Hickman Mills. So I wanted to give an opportunity to board members to say a few words, and then we have a presentation for Mr. McGee, and then have him have an opportunity to share some sentiments as well too.
Now, would it be better for if he has any people here that would like to make a short presentation before the board? Um, You can do that right now. I think we have a couple of people.
Yeah, I think we have Councilperson Raina Park Shaw has a presentation on behalf of the council as well too. Come up to the podium, and you'll have a mic there. Come up.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay? Yes. Okay. Good evening, members of the board. Uh, Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come tonight to recognize a friend and hard worker of our city, of our school district, and now of our county and our state. Um, so I'm honored to be here representing the city council. Am honored to represent Kansas City's 5th district, and as you know, many of you know, I'm a proud graduate of the Hickmanmills School District. So I will read a proclamation honoring Duran McGee as board president of Hickmanmills C1 School District. Whereas Duran McGee has assumed office as an at-large member of the Hickmanmills School District on June 11, 2020, prior to being seated as the president of the board of directors, and whereas Duran McGee has worked as the community relations manager of Spokane during his tenure on the board of directors. Prior to his term, McGee worked for Jackson County government as the program administrator for the Jackson County Combat Program, and was elected to 2 terms on the Missouri House of Representatives representing South Kansas City. McGee was also elected to House leadership as Assistant Democratic Leader for 1 term. He was a member of the House Committee on Budget and served as the ranking Democratic member on the House Education Appropriations Committee. And whereas Duran McGee believes action from a team of leaders with a vision has allowed for the following accomplishments of the Hickmanmills School District: approving raises for teachers and making them the highest paid in our region, establishing the first Boys and Girls Club in Hickmanmills, Shalon Kiki Curls unit as at Smith Hill, demolishing vacant, blighted schools in the immediate community, successfully completing renovation projects in the 2020 bond, and passing a $20 million bond that will allow the school district to create a 6th grade center and necessary facility upgrades. And whereas Duran McGee has served on the Hickmanmills School Board through December 31st, 2020, and will continue his community efforts as not only the elected official of Jackson County, but now the chair of the Jackson County, Missouri legislature. Now, therefore, on this day of January 2023. I'm Councilman Raina Park Shaw on behalf of the City of Kansas City and its 5th District. Hereby recognize Deron McGee for his advocacy of elementary and secondary education and dedication towards our greater Kansas City.
Chair McGee, can we have you come to the podium, please, to accept this proclamation? Face the cameraman. And, just to take the opportunity to embarrass you as much as possible, this is your last time. We'll have you just stay there. And I'll invite anyone else in the audience who would like to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Mr. Superintendent. I'm John Sharp, and I had the honor of co-chairing the 2020 successful bond campaign. I believe Waukesha Briggs was the other co-chair of that, and then also co-chairing the Better Schools Equal Better Neighborhoods bond and levy campaign this year. I wanted to focus on one thing where I think Deron really showed great leadership that has really benefited our district. Because Deron was the one that really said we need to do the levy and the bond. And a lot of us, including me, thought, oh, this levy's going to be kind of tough. Because that's not a no tax increase like the bond issue. And I just didn't know that we would have the time and would be able to convince the majority of the voters to vote for it. Because as I think we all know, most of the residents of this district no longer have children in our public schools. And so that's kind of a tough sell, because some people think, well, why should I vote for this? But he was convinced that we could do it if we had the right message. And I think we were able, thanks to many people in this room and many people outside this room, to convince voters that you can have good neighborhoods without having good schools. And it really benefits everybody in this district to have good schools, not just people who have kids in the school. And now with that levy passing, and it passed basically 2-1, which is almost unheard of for a levy increase. Now we'll be able to hire the teachers and staff we want to hire, not be worried about, well, will they come here, or that sort of thing, because we do have great salaries, and the salary structure allows us to retain the people we want to retain, because the salaries, it's not just good starting salaries, it's good continuing salaries. So we won't just be a training ground for other school districts where they come here, work a couple of years, and then say bye, because they can make thousands more at some other district. So I really wanted to emphasize that was Deron's idea, and it paid off, and it's going to pay off in years to come as we get fully accredited. And I'm really positive about the future of our district and our neighborhoods, and I think we all owe Mr. McGee a debt of thanks for that.
Our time does permit for another speaker. Can you please state your name, ma'am?
Yes, I was Waukesha Briggs, one of the former school board presidents. Thank you, Madam President, for inviting me, Superintendent, Mr. Deron. First of all, I mean, being one of the presidents here at Hickmanmills and seeing all the work that Mr. McGee has done in such a short period of time is just extremely amazing and very notable. And as a young scout myself, I am just so proud of him as a friend and as a woman in Christ, because I know he's a man in Christ, and to see how God continues to cover him and bless him. And I look forward to seeing what he has to do on a bigger scale, not only for our school district, for our city, and for his family. And so on behalf of my family, I just want to thank you for all that you have done. And trust me, I'm so proud of you as a friend and as someone that you can always call on. And as far as the Board of Education, I just want to commend you on supporting this former president and look forward to your support of the incoming president, the current president, so we can continue this momentum. So thank you, Hickmanmills School Board and Board of Education.
I will now turn it over to the President Graves to share some sentiments on behalf of the board.
Okay, I want to say something real funny. When I found out I was going to be the board president, they were asking me questions. I said, I was the vice president. I wasn't listening to what was going on. So, second person. So, anyway, Deron and I have a long history. In 2016, he ran my school board campaign, and we would get into it all the time because well, who is this young guy that thinks he can tell me what to do? So he had a better relationship with my daughter than me, but we would get into it all the time. And I remember, I think it was maybe the last school board election, I got off from work at 12, and I said I was going home. And he called Mr. Townsend and said, tell Carol she needs to go work on that pole over at Hillcrest. I said, oh my God. And so here we go again. So he's been a very good friend and a very good leader. And I can remember when he started talking about doing this bond and levy, I think it was like in May, right after graduation, we had to get the bond language together. I think Shelley had to do that. And I said, he said, it'll be all right, Carol, just, and that's all he said. And then, you know what, it turned out it wasn't. We had a good team of people, Jessica out there, and a lot of the staff and the support of the district. And it happened, and it happened because he had a vision. So I want to say, if you're ever the vice president, please pay attention because you never know when you're going to move over. So at this time, does any board member have anything to say to Mr. McGee?
I've probably, I've probably known Deron the longest of anyone in here. I remember bathing him in the sink.
Uh,
I remember I remember when he used to go to grade school with a trench coat and a briefcase every day. I remember when he couldn't say S words. And look at him now. I'm very proud of him, of what he has accomplished. I kid around with him a lot, and like I said, I rarely tell him how proud I am of him, but I think he knows. But I'm gonna take the opportunity right now to tell you, Ron, I'm very proud of him.
I'd like to say that these past 2 years working with Deron has really opened my eyes, and I'm one that will say a lot. I can't, and he say you can. Don't say can't. So I just want to thank Deron for his leadership, and hope I continue what you told me I can. Thank you.
okay, well, of course, we have something for you. A little something, something.
Give Carrie, yeah.
Okay, you can take it.
All right, let me share this with you on behalf of the district and the board. And one thing I know that Director Townsend talked about your challenges with S words, and most recently, you've really been able to sort of pronunciate a significant S word that's helped the district, which is success. So thank you for bringing us success, and look forward to more success in your future endeavors. And we've got a commemorative plaque here for you. It says, honors Deron McGee in honorable service in the School Board of Directors in recognition of commitment to the improving the lives and community of the district, 2023. I'm going to come up.
And the board has also a gift for you too, Mr. McGee, so just stand right there.
but I did want to say that this wasn't about me. This was a team. This was a board who voted to put the bond and the levy on the ballot. It was an idea that I had. They supported the idea. And so I really want to thank the board for supporting the vision that I had. It's been a fun ride. Me and Director Kendrick and Director Townsend all got elected in June of 2020. They moved our election because of COVID. So our election was extended 2 more months. So we had a shared bond. I remember campaigning and nobody wanted to talk to us because of COVID. And so I just am very appreciative of this situation. Coming from the state, I thought that this job would be really easy because I was dealing with 7 people instead of 163. This was much harder. And so I just want to thank the board for their support and vision. Superintendent, I want to thank you for being patient because I'd come in his office with all these ideas and I wanted them done like immediately. And he'd be like, whoa, hold up. And I would just come in like the raving tornado. But most of them we were able to get done in a short amount of time. And so these accomplishments that were in my letter came because the superintendent supported it and his staff supported it and we were to get it done together. So this was really a shared vision. Carol, I want to thank you because I know as vice president, you're going to do a great job being president of the board. And it's just been a real honor to serve with you all. I'm going to miss you. Carla, I love you. I couldn't have done this without you. So thank you.
Yeah, so I'll turn it back over to Attorney Fields to raise the question.
Oh, okay. With sadness,
I didn't want to say there's only one person that he showed love to. Come on, Ron. Yeah, all that.
So with sadness, we've got to address the vacancy that Mr. McGee leaves the board. According to policy BBE1, school board vacancies, there is a process for filling that vacancy if this board so chooses to do so. We are in January now. The election is in April, and so if you all want to fill the vacancy of that seat that exists now until the election in April, the process requires public notification of the vacancy, which has happened today, advertisement of that vacancy on the district's website and in local papers, and then any resident, the advertisement includes an application. Any resident who wishes to be appointed to the vacancy must apply as directed in the notification. And the district is required to allow residents a minimum of 2 weeks and a maximum of 4 weeks from the date that the district publicizes the vacancy on its website to apply. After applications come in, the board will review all the applications at a regularly scheduled meeting or a special meeting called for that purpose. The board can select final candidates to interview in open session, or the board may decide not to interview and can make the decision just based upon the applications. All discussions with regard to this process are required by law to be in an open public session. So whether you conduct interviews or have dialogue with regard to the applicants, all of that is in open session. And once appointed, the person becomes a member of the board and takes their oath and will serve until the April election. So, Madam President, you have the option of entertaining a motion with regard to whether or not the board wants to fill this vacancy.
Okay, board, at this time, we need to decide if we're going to fill this vacancy left by Mr. McGee. Is there a motion on the floor?
Madam President, I move that we do not fill the vacancy created by Deron McGee.
I second that. Madam
Madam President, I move that we nominate Irene Townsend for that position, for that seat.
Okay, so we've got a motion on the floor to not fill the vacancy that it has been moved and seconded. So under Robert's rules, you'll have to vote it up or down before another motion can come to the floor.
Yeah, she's on two different things.
But we didn't know
Oh.
she was at the meeting.
I'm sorry.
Can you hear us, Ms. Barmore?
Yes.
Okay, so that the question on the floor, there's a motion to not fill the vacancy and to wait for the election. I think you were going ahead of the agenda
Yes.
around the vice presidency.
Yeah.
So we'll be with you in a minute. We'll catch up to you.
I don't hear out of one ear.
Okay, all right. Okay, do we go for a
So
discussion?
there is a motion on the floor.
Okay. Okay. Now we need to have our discussion board.
I think we should fill it. We know we have a president that may or may not be able to continue to serve this whole until the installment of a new officer. So I feel that the more the merrier. The more opinions you have, the less likely you're about to make a mistake. So I'm in favor for. I'm I'm against this motion, but in favor of filling the vacancy.
Madam President,
Yes.
I would like to support my motion. We will only have February and March without a board member. We will be spending February and March trying to select a board member instead of working on board business. And I feel like that the board would be farther ahead to conduct board business and district business since the elections are coming up in April.
Any other discussion?
And I would agree based on the timeline, that person would not be on the board, but one month, less than 1 month, they wouldn't sit on the board until the fourth Wednesday in March. And the election is April 4th. So new members will be coming in anyway, so we'll have a full board. And unless you're planning to resign, then I feel that having 6 board members is sufficient enough if we don't have any major business at this time to work out with the district.
Any other discussion?
I think it's imperative that we fill the seat because, like Byron said, we may have a president that may not be able to fulfill because of her health issues, and that would leave us really short. So I think it's imperative that we fill that position.
Well, unless Mrs. Graves is planning on resigning, she'll still be a full board member, so she can have meetings via Zoom. We accommodated her before, so I think we're a strong board, and I think we're capable of handling whatever business that needs to be handled in that short time frame.
All right, I'd like to call for the vote. And Director Fields, would you explain to make sure that everybody is, if you're voting for or?
Okay, so let me back up. As chair, I don't believe that you can call for the vote. I think somebody else has got to call for the
okay,
vote.
okay.
Okay, I'll call for the question.
Okay. So if you want to, your question has been called for. It takes a 2/3 vote to close it down. So you'll want to ask for a second and.
Okay, can I get a second?
A second.
Okay, so,
Yep.
Ms. Hicks, call the roll.
What are we voting on?
On whether to continue
Your motion.
debate.
Your motion.
No, we're.
Okay, I thought we were voting on to stop discussion.
Yeah, that is what you're voting on.
Whether to stop discussion or continue discussing.
Whether or not to call for the question, whether to stop discussion and go immediately to the vote on the original motion, or to continue having discussion. That's what you're voting on right now. And to pass, that requires a 2/3 vote.
All right, Ms. Hicks.
Ms. Berger,
Aye.
Ms. Barmore,
To stop the discussion, aye.
Coleman,
Aye.
Ms. Kendrick. Mr. Townsend,
Aye.
Ms. Graves,
Chair votes aye. Is that 6-0?
6-0 pass.
Okay, 6-0.
Okay, so now you've got your motion on the floor, the original motion, which was to not fill the vacancy, if I recall.
So let me ask you a quick legal question. I need to make sure that if you accept the motion, is it,
So the motion on the floor was to not fill the vacancy. So if you vote in the affirmative, then that means you're voting to not fill the vacancy. If you don't, if you want to fill the vacancy, then you want to vote no.
okay, gotcha. I just want to be sure. Okay, Ms. Hicks, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, call the roll, please.
Ms. Berger,
Aye.
Ms. Barmore,
No.
Ms. Coleman,
No.
Ms. Kendrick. Mr. Townsend,
No.
Ms. Graves,
Chair votes no.
Madam President, I
Yes.
have a request. Since the audience cannot see Ms. Barmore, could the microphone be put down by the computer so everyone can hear her answers?
We have a member on Zoom, and
Ms. Barmore, can you restate your vote, please?
No.
Did you hear that? Okay, thank you.
I move. Okay.
It does not pass. It is 4-2.
Madam President,
yes.
I move that we start the process to replace the director that resigned.
Okay, can I get a second, please?
I second it.
Okay. Any discussion? Any discussion, board, before we move on? Okay. Motion. Oh, seeing none, the motion passes.
No, you gotta vote.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay. It's been a long time, audience, okay?
Ms. Hicks will call the roll.
Okay.
Ms. Berger,
No.
Oh, I see, yeah, okay.
Ms. Barmore,
Lord have mercy.
Yes.
Ms. Kendrick.
No.
Ms. Coleman,
Yes.
Mr. Townsend,
Yes.
Ms. Graves.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-2.
42. Let me just say this, I really try, I want the board to do, I want it, whatever we do, I want it to be their pleasure. But I do want to say this since the vote is over. There's a possibility that I might be leaving now. I mean, I don't know.
Right now? Like right now?
Well, yeah, just in a few minutes, okay? Because I have a kidney, so I didn't want to get involved with the discussion. I wanted the board to make that decision. And so we have had situations when I was on the board where people left and we had to hurry up and get people, but that's one of the reasons. So not sure, and better to be safe than to leave the board with 4 people. So I'm saying that after the vote, but I did not want to get involved in the discussion. So thank you, board. I appreciate you. All right.
Okay, would you like me to move forward with election of vice president?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
It's too much.
So, according to policy BCB, board officers, if there's a vacancy with the president, for any reason, the vice president will assume the office of president, and the board will elect a new vice president by a simple majority. So, at this time, we're gonna conduct the election for the office of Vice President, and I would open the floor for nominations for the office of Vice President.
I would like to nominate Byron Townsend.
I don't know if the audience heard that. Ms. Barmore is electing to nominate Director Townsend.
Mr. Townsend, do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Oh, I forget that I'm conducting this. Are there any other nominations? I'm sorry.
Yes, I would like to nominate Irene Kendrick.
Ms. Kendrick, do you accept the nomination? Okay. Are there any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, the office nominations for the office of Vice President are closed. At this time, we can vote, and we'll vote in the order that the nominations were made in. So, Mr. Townsend was nominated first for the office of Vice President. And regardless of how the vote comes out, we'll vote on both candidates so that we could have an official result with regard to both candidates. So, at this time, I'd ask Miss Hicks to call the roll with regard to the nomination for Vice President for Mr. Townsend.
Ms. Berger,
No.
Ms. Barmore,
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Yes. Aye.
Ms. Kendrick. No. Mr. Townsend,
Aye.
Ms. Graves,
Yes.
the vote is 4-6 for Mr. Townsend.
It can't be 4-6.
I'm sorry, 4-2. I'm sorry.
We haven't put the board member here yet.
Okay, so at this time, I'd ask Ms. Hicks to also take votes for Ms. Kendrick for the office of Vice President.
Ms. Barmore,
No.
Ms. Berger,
Yes.
Ms. Coleman,
No.
Ms. Townsend, Mr. Townsend,
No.
Ms. Kendrick. Yes. Ms. Graves,
No.
that's 2 yes and 4 no. Mr. Townsend.
So congratulations, Mr. Townsend. You are the new board vice president. At this time, I'd invite the new president and vice president to take their seats.
Is there a vice president? I think, is there an empty seat up there?
And Madam President, I turn it back to you.
Turn it back to me. Okay. We will now go to the, it's item 5.0 on your agenda. We will now go to the approval of the consent items on the agenda. And I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent items. I'm looking for a motion.
I move that we approve the consent items.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
Okay. The motion has been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor to approve the consent items say aye.
Aye.
Is that everybody? All those opposed? Say nay. Okay. Okay. The motion passes. Now we will go to the superintendent's comments, item 6.1.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Superintendent.
You're most welcome, Madam President. I wanted to actually acknowledge it's Happy New Year to everyone and Gong Hei Fat Choi to all our Chinese families out there because Chinese New Year's as well too. Um, we did miss a significant day. We did have a holiday on MLK Day, and I wanted to take the opportunity to kind of share something. I received a book, a very really nice book from Director Berger, who received it from I think it was Scholastics in one of her workshops and training. It's called Martin Rising, and so I'm recommending it to our community out there, parents who are watching, and students out there. It's a really good book that tells a little bit about Martin Luther King, and I'll read the sort of inscription inside to give you a little background in terms of what Martin Rising is all about. It's a stunning, poetic presentation of the final months of Martin Luther King Jr.'s life. Here, King's commitment to peaceful activism and his dream of equality ascend to the higher peaks. Against a backdrop of the sanitation workers' strike in Memphis, Tennessee, and in the midst of a dramatic storm. Readers will rise with Martin to see the mountaintop, and the Picni's powerful look at King's legacy is a celebration of courage, peace, and love. And it's written by Adriana Davis Pinkney and Brian Pinkney. So anybody in the office that wants to borrow it from my office, welcome to do that. And thank you, Director Berger, for sharing that with us as well. The next item I wanted to kind of have an opportunity to comment on is real world learning. And I'm not going to say much. I think a picture tells 1,000 words. So we got a little video clip that we can start. Gives you a little bit of synopsis of some of the things that have been happening this year regarding real world learning. And as you know, we're looking at building a facility that will be having programs come out of, but at the same time, the program is not just around brick and mortars, it's out into the community. And this video gives you a sense of things that are happening in our district right now around real world learning. Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Thank you. That was a strong finish there. I want to give my compliments to Director Rowe and her team. They're always kind of fine-tuning our students and creating opportunities. And you can see in Hickmanmills, in real world learning, the opportunities are insurmountable. And I look forward to future presentations. I would love to have a group of students come and kind of share some of their experiences with you, so we'll look out for that. Mr. Robinson, can you click on the activity calendar for me? Thank you. Well, I'll distract them. While you,
Attached on that PDF. Attached on the PDF.
PDF too. You can click on the PDF.
Oh, back to the thing. Yes. Okay, there it is. Yeah. Okay. Can you blow it up a little bit for us with the optically challenged here? All right, there you go. I wanted to share this with the board once again and to the community. So last year at our retreat, the board took a number of actions, and one was trying to organize our year. And I want to remind everyone that we do have a calendar, an activity calendar, and there's a number of activities that we try to put forward. And as we get closer to starting a new board coming up and starting our retreat, we'll be able to solidify this for the next year, because the better we can plan ahead, the better we can execute some of the challenges that we have forward. We can get better preparation and move forward. But I want you to look at the training and PD piece, because we're now getting to the point where we're going to have a new board in April after the election, and you can see we've already scheduled that we'll have our inaugural meeting on the 20th, and then right after that, we have orientation. This is significant. So we've been playing around with this for the last couple of years. I think it's important that we do a board orientation before the board is seated, because we need to go through the Roberts rules, the procedures, and all the expectations before we start. And often, people are eager to start, and boards just jump in and start going, and there's lots of questions, and then you kind of get off track before you get on. So, but this year, the board has created a calendar. I think it's going to work well for us. We'll have an orientation. We're going to have MSBA do some work, and we'll have others there as well too, so we can be prepared for our next meeting in May, and everybody will know exactly what they're doing. So I wanted to share that with you. You'll see some other major events. There are other major events in there, but things that are coming up. We've got graduations coming up. There's some spring activities that we'll be sending out to the board as well, and of course our foundation events like the golf tournament and things like that that'll be coming up. So wanted to share that with the board once again, and let the community know that as part of our comprehensive school improvement plan, this is a piece of it in terms of board leadership and organization. And we've got it now. I was going to say black and white, but it's not black and white. It's in yellow, blue, green, and all the other colors. Thank you, Mr. Robinson. I'll end my comments with this is National Board Appreciation Month across the nation. So congratulations to the board. Now in Missouri, we have one in March. Is it March? Am I correct, Mr. Robinson? It's March, where we'll probably have our staff and students more involved in coming and showing some appreciation to the board. So with that, that is the end of my comments, Madam President. So
Okay.
back over to you.
All right, thank you. Okay, now we will move to item 7.1, and we'll ask Ms. Wilson to come and give us the financial update.
This is the financial update for January and December financial report, and also the contracts to be approved as well as the bills to be approved. So go over the financial budget variance report. You'll see the revenues coming in.
Is it on?
Is it on now? Hello. Okay, I thought it was on. Other people were up here, so apologize. So this is the budget variance report for December. So as of December 31st, you'll see that the revenues are starting to come in the local. So that means our tax money's starting to come in slowly. You'll see more in January. So everything's in the green. Same with the expenditures. We are setting at a 53.10 as of December 31st for a fund balance, with a cash balance of, I can't see it, I'm sorry, 44,000,008 is what is expected at the end of the year. Are there any questions for me?
Any questions, board?
No, at this time.
Okay.
Thank you, Shelley.
Do you have a question?
One question, or I guess it's more of a comment. I know when Director Kendrick was holding our finance committee meeting, we discovered that we left some funds out there. Just wanted to keep reminding you every month that have those instructors or teachers, don't wait till the last minute to try to spend that must-spend money.
Gotcha, okay. All right, thank you, board.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Wilson.
You need a motion, don't you, to approve? Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Board, is there a motion to approve the financial?
I move that we accept the financial report.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Hicks, would you call the roll, please?
Ms. Berger,
Aye.
Ms. Barmore, Ms. Barmore,
Yes, you
can you hear me?
show me.
I can't hear you, you may be on mute. Can you hear me?
Sorry, aye.
Thank you. Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Ms. Kendrick,
Aye.
Mr. Townsend,
Aye.
Ms. Graves,
Chair votes aye. Motion carries 6-0.
yes.
Thank you.
Now,
We thank you once again, Ms. Wiltie, for your shepherdess of this financial portfolio. Job well done.
Okay, now we'll move, board to section 8.1, audience comments. Is anyone here? Please go to the mic. You have 2 minutes to share your comments.
I'm Gary Jones, pastor of Testimony Church. To the board, thank you for your service, Superintendent. A couple of things I'd like to point out. One, I live downtown Kansas City, and it's good that the former president is on the legislature now because perhaps something you want to investigate. And the last 3 times I paid taxes, my taxes went to the center school district. So I'm wondering how much is that happening to our school district here? And it'd be worthy to have some type of somebody to look into this issue because I paid a pretty good hefty tax bill the last 2 years, and I noticed it went to the center school district. Secondly, this is my first board meeting in several years since I believe Dr. Williams. And so I'm not for sure of all your procedures, but now I see when the audience can participate. And so I just want to say thank you for your leadership in this district. But I do have one quick question, and that is our church is really working long-term to support the district. And one challenge I have is with all-in-one mentors. It's somehow there's a bottleneck when volunteers want to come aboard and volunteer. I know because I signed up last year and it took me about 4 months to get my background check approved. Well, school was over and I could not mentor last year. And so I just want to bring that to the board's attention, and I've even had others to tell me the same thing. Thank you for your leadership to our children.
And thank you.
And thank you, Pastor. And this is public comments, not a question period, so we won't answer that question. But I will say that Director Robinson has the portfolio of all-in mentors, and I'm sure he's probably taking note of reaching out to people in the community who might be interested in understanding more.
I think we may have another person for audience comments. We'll wait a few seconds to see if he comes
I
up.
think Travis Jackson is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Good afternoon, and thank you, board, for allowing me to come in front of you. Thank you, Ms. Rowe and Ms. Hicks. Great to see you, too. My name is Travis Jackson. I'm a part of the Real World Learning. Also part of the Hickmanmills construction program that you guys have started. Also, I am the new owner of T&L Welding Academy, the first black welding academy in Kansas City. And I'm great to stand in front of the board today to tell you thank you for your partnership. We'll be teaching 15 of our youth welding. So that's a round of applause for you. I don't want to be too long. I just want to let you know, we can't forget about our youth. We can't forget that everybody is not college material. We can't. And like the great Martin Luther King says, it's not what happened to me if we don't touch our youth. It's what would happen to them if we don't bend down and pick them up. So we have to remember, we have to have something for these kids' future besides video games, four-year colleges, which degrees they're not going to get. Our construction industry in Kansas City is booming, and we have to have someone to replace them. Our kids' future means a lot. We have kids, we have grandkids, we have nieces, we have nephews. Everybody's not military, everybody's not cook, everybody's not car washers. But we're good with our hands and we're good with our eyes. And we can see that our kids need us. These trades programs, these real world learning programs are dearly needed, not only in our community, in all the surrounding communities. So I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to come before you and to let you know the work is just beginning. Your work is just beginning. Our kids are looking for us. Here we stand today to let our kids know we're here for them. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Of the 15 students,
Questions.
oh, I can't, I just wondered if there were
You know,
anything.
let me take the opportunity to thank Mr. Jackson. He is one of our most enthusiastic partners. And I know the board is most interested in, we will probably have an opportunity for board members to do some visit to some of our sites, and I'd love to take them to Mr.
Yes.
Jackson's site. And if you have any questions that you want to funnel to me, I will certainly make sure I communicate them to Mr. Jackson, and he'll communicate back to what we'll set up a trip. I also want to take the opportunity to thank Director Kendrick, because I think she's the one that kind of connected us initially. And,
Yes.
so she
Yes.
planted the seed. Ms. Berger, she planted the seed, and now it's grown into a whole shop and a partnership. So thanks for all who's been involved, and we look forward to coming and visit your shop.
Yes, you all are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now on our agenda, 8.0, I'm sorry, 9.0, SIP.
Yeah, CSIP.
CSIP.
CSIP. Yeah, so while Mr. Robinson is getting ready to tune up the CSIP, so you'll hear this term CSIP as a comprehensive school improvement plan, which is a requirement for us to have, and it's a combination of our strategic plan and some of our school improvement initiatives that we've kind of put together. And we report to DESE on the actions. The board monitors the actions, as you'll see tonight. So tonight is the communications portion of it. I believe last month or month before December, you had Ms. Rowe and Dr. Skinner do part of the academic piece, and they shared some data there. So turn it over to Mr. Robinson.
Before you start, Madam Chairman, before you start, can I say a few quick things real quick? For all you guys that don't know, CSIP is a very important part of our accreditation. I've been talking to a lot of people in the communities, and they don't realize the 6 pillars that come together to create a store of accreditation. So my question to Mr. Obin is, how many points do we get for the CSEP?
24.
We get 24 points, and how many we need for accreditation? 70. 24. This is 24 out of 70. So just, you might catch me doing this every once in a while just to kind of educate everyone on how we get fully accredited or how the accreditation process works, because a lot of people just think it's all academics.
When I say 70% of the total 100%, so 24. So you're right. I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's now a significant part, or it always has been a significant part of the accreditation process. So we're proud of what the board approved for us last summer, and the work that staff have done to kind of bring this to fruition. So Mr. Robinson.
All right. Thank you, Superintendent Obing, Madam Chair, members of the board. As you mentioned, we're talking about the Comprehensive Strategic Improvement Plan today. My presentation today is on the CSIP Pillar C, Our Community. So in Pillar C, Our Community, our goals, we have three different focus areas, 7, 8, and 9. Focus Area 7 is communication. Focus Area 8, family engagement. Focus Area 9, partners. Today, we're going to focus on Area 7, which is communication, improving the district and community communications. The targets on Area 7 are improve the positive perception of the district and also improve the quality of consistent communication between district and community. The strategies under that will be to create a marketing campaign to provide information about the district, also develop a comprehensive communication plan. In the CSIP, we develop metrics to make sure that we're keeping pace. And on this focus area 7, our metric this year, it's baseline, is for meaning we're going to do some surveys, do some analytics to see where we are this year. And in years after that, in each category, we're going to look for a 2% positive increase in positive responses annually. So again, as we mentioned, a baseline year in 2022, 2023. So we came in as a department and kind of analyzed the situation. Superintendent Obing had already started the process of changing around the Public Information Office to the Department of Communications and Community Engagement. That is what we are right now. And so underneath that part of the analysis of the situation, I saw that we needed to develop and improve on the communication plan we already had. That is underway in this baseline year. Also underway is developing a marketing plan so that we can put our district on the map and tell the stories to the community about who we are and why your students should come here. Also, what we're doing this year as a baseline year is developing a communication and community engagement handbook, as you see the cover right there. This handbook will be for the entire school district so that they can have best practices for communications and community engagement in their hands. So from top to bottom in our school district, we can all be on the same page of how we want to best communicate and talk about our organization. Also this year is a baseline year. We have hired Lynn Gehring as the new Assistant Director of Communications and Community Engagement. She starts Monday. So as you all are well aware of, I've been a team of one since I about started here. And so part of the reason for that is Superintendent O'Being challenged me. He challenged me as I got here to take a look at what is going on here. Don't just go out and make a quick hire. Figure out what this department and what this school district needs. And as we took the time and looked over what was going on, and first I want to also say thank you to the school district and members of ELT, because as a team of one, I got a lot of support from team members here so that we can continue on with the work that still needed to be done while I had a chance to analyze the situation. And what we needed was someone who could come in and, I believe, tell the stories of our school district in a way that we haven't done before. And so Ms. Gehring, she brings more than 25 years of marketing experience to our school district, 7 of those inside of an urban school system. And you can see there she has National School Public Relation Awards in magazines, photography, publications, also in Missouri Awards. So we're bringing someone here who is, I would consider, one of the best in the business. And I also think that speaks to what we've kind of talked about tonight with the bond and levy campaign that you all spurred on last summer. We're seeing us as a school district and the applications we're getting in and the people who are trying to come to the school district. We are now a place that people really want to come and work. When they have choices, they're choosing Hickmanmills right now. So although it's a baseline year, we still are participating, doing some great things. So here are some highlights. Of course, the board bond and levy campaign that we helped participate in to help get the word out there before the election this summer. We did a lot of other work. One thing highlighted there is we launched the Around the Mill magazine. Also launched a new website this year. And the picture there at the bottom, the alumni football game. So I highlighted these things. We'll touch on why I highlighted these particular items a little bit later. But I do want to talk about the alumni football game. As you see the pictures there of the orange and the Ruskin blue, it speaks to our theme of this school year when we talk about Back to the Future. This was what we were as a school district in the past, that rivalry between Hickman Mills and Ruskin. It was South Kansas City. Everybody, people participated. They got real excited, real hyped for it. And those are alumni you see there. They age from the mid 20s, and some people were in their 50s out there playing football. We did the same thing with basketball. And the camaraderie you see and that we saw out there in both of those games, and people coming back, meeting people who they've never met before, who came in and participated in sports after them, and meeting some of the legends that came through Hickman Mills in the past. It was a great environment to bring back and remember what this community was at its height and what we're building toward in the future. If you all remember, in 2020, the National School Public Relations Association did a communication audit report on our school district. That report provided us 10 areas of recommendations for us to improve in this communications department. And so what I'm going to do is go through these recommendations and show you the progress that we're making in our school system. The first one, strategically align the overarching goals of the district's communication program and the daily efforts of communication staff with HMC1's mission and strategic plan. That is what we've done with the CSIP and our community pillar C by aligning what the bigger goal of the district is with our district and our schools with what we're doing in our community in the communications department. Number two, work to build a culture of communication through the district. Again, we showed you earlier, we're developing a communications handbook that will meet that recommendation. Number three, strengthen communication between the district, schools, and parents. That's always going to be a work in progress, but we have done things like the new Around the Mill newsletter. We're updating with school newsletters. We're working on plans with social media so that we can better communicate where people are right now. A lot of people get their news and information from social media, so we want to make sure that we have a place on their timeline, just like other organizations. Number four, develop a comprehensive marketing plan to raise HMC1's profile and solidify its brand. Again, as I mentioned, we're working on that marketing plan, and we brought in a marketing expert to help with that. Number five, strengthen the engagement of staff members in the district decision-making process. So we are in the process as well of developing a customer service plan and ways that we can continue to reach out to our staff as we go through our decision-making process. Six, develop a key communicator network that emphasizes and strengthens relationships. Again, as I mentioned, the alumni game, so it is not just great to get everybody back, but before we get them engaged, we have to get them back interested. And so part of doing these different things and getting the alumni back around is so once we get their interest, then we'll give our ask. And what we do want is those alumni to come back and participate in our mentoring programs and all the things that we are working towards in our school system so that they can come back and pour back into the students who are currently here in the community that poured into them years ago. Number seven, continue efforts to make the HMC1 website the go-to source of district information. We've gone through a revamp first semester, and that's just a part one of the revamp of the website. We have a second part coming. Again, our goal is to make this district website, like it says, the place that people go to for news, information, and also entertainment. You should be able to find everything you want to know about Hickman Mills School District, but also we want to add into a little bit about this community because we believe that we are the pillar in the center of this community, and we want to continue to tell those stories, and that website be a place that you can access that information. Number eight, enhance communication with residents without children enrolled in HMC1. Again, we mentioned the Around the Mill magazine that came out this past fall, and we're going to have another issue come out in the spring. But this is a way that we can get into people's homes who do not have students currently in our school system. It is obviously easier to communicate with people who we already have their email address, phone numbers, but how do we reach those who are not here so they can understand the stories that are going on in Hickman Mills? Number nine, review and expand the crisis communication plan. We have gone through that process this year and updated that. That's always a work in progress as we see new different things happen in school systems, and so that we need to be prepared for any crisis that we can communicate properly to our community. And finally, number 10, the recommendation was consider the staffing and resource implications of the recommendations of this report. And again, we have done that. We have revamped a little bit of our job description so that we could get someone in that can do a little bit of everything at a high level. And I believe we've done that with the person that's coming in starting on Monday. So you go through all 10 of those recommendations from that 2020 audit. Here we sit in January 2023, and I'm proud to say that we are moving forward or moving toward the future of communications here in HMC1. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Justin, for the update.
Justin,
board not receiving communications on things that's going on in the district that we have to find out on Facebook or somewhere else. So in the past, if the police was called in our area, an email came out to us. If something happened even around the school, an email came. So I look forward to those again.
Thank you.
Madam President,
Yes.
I think all of the items are very good ideas. I just wanted to bring up, staff in the district have shared with me that in the past, an email blast went out to announce school board meetings. So to encourage them to be more engaged in school board meetings, but so they would also know what was on the agenda. And, you know, they were complaining that that doesn't happen anymore. So if maybe you could take that into consideration for future items.
Definitely will take that in consideration and make action on it.
I had a question. I know of several people that have graduated from Hickmanmills, and they're rather prominent in the community. One's a lawyer.
You don't say.
Yes. And his sister is a celebrity on TV, one of those talk show things. And they expressed that they would like to come back and mentor the students and talk to the students. So do they get in touch with you?
Yes, please.
Any other questions for it?
Let me, before we bid Mr. Robinson adieu, let me thank him for his work this first several months. As he said, he was a team of one, and I've been pushing him in terms of trying to get things done. And he's like, "Oh, I can't do everything all at once." And I go, "Yes, you can." And then he kind of prioritized. But I don't want to dismiss this. The hire that he just made is quite a bit of a coup. She's highly sought after and comes with multiple skill sets that's going to help us do a lot of those things you're talking about a little bit more efficiently as well too. So looking forward to raising the bar as we invite a new staff person abroad. So thank you, Mr. Robinson, for the work you're doing, and thank you for the work that you're going to be doing.
Thank you.
And thank you for the update. Okay, board, now we're gonna move on to item 10.0. Is there a request for any future board agenda items?
Yes, Madam.
Uh-huh.
I know I've made this request in the past that any communications with, as the board president and the superintendent or with the board attorney, if that information can be presented to the full board at either closed session or open.
Is that are you saying that is that a request to the board president? You're saying?
Yes, to the board president, that any communications between her and superintendent or with the board attorney, that information be shared with the board at our next open meeting or closed session meeting. That we keep an open communication.
I can get back with you, but I can't honestly say that everything that I talk with the superintendent and the, our legal person that I could share with the whole board. I need to check on that. I'm not gonna say yes and I'm not gonna say no.
Well, this request was honored by the previous president, and it was part of our previous meeting that I requested that information be, and it was approved at that time. So,
I think I understand what you're talking about, Ms. Kendrick. I think I will work with the president. I think we have our regular meetings and the topics and things that we discuss. I think the board is asking for to be included in what are some of the items that don't end up coming to the board that they may be interested in. Am I clear on that, Ms. Kendrick?
yes.
Yeah.
Madam President,
Yes.
for a future board meeting, I would like to discuss policy BDDF-1, voting methods, and have an explanation from the attorney on video conferencing, because we have done a lot of it and it seems we may be doing more. And I myself might have to do it because I might have to have surgery. So, and to make sure that our meetings are being held and our voting is being held the way it's supposed to be, because what I read in Robert's Rules of Order is like when what Ms. Hicks has on her screen, we should have on a screen here in the boardroom so that the audience can see who is participating. So I just would like the attorney to review BDDF-1 and report back to the board.
Ms. Barber, can I amend that to have her connect with MSPB in there because they do a lot of legal stuff.
I'm just going to jump in because I think for the board, just to understand the request for future board, we're not going to solve issues here. What the process is, you put the item up, then the president, myself, and the council will talk about what's the best way to remedy that. So it may go to it may go to committee, it may be an action that the superintendent takes directly, or it may come back to the board. And so.
Yeah. With no suggestions. No suggestions. Yeah. So can I amend that to investigate policy such and such, whatever policy you said.
BDDF-1.
Yeah.
That's one of them, yes.
Review that and
Report it back to the board.
so we do have a policy meeting scheduled for 31st, and I will also.
We do?
Yeah. We're gonna. I'll get with the policy committee and we'll investigate that and make sure that everything's legal.
Board, an email was sent out to the chair, and the chair probably forgot and didn't send it out to you, but it's usually sent to the chair, and the chair sends it out to the members. So it was sent out to the chair. I think it was last week.
Well, I thought I was a member of the policy committee.
Are you
You're
are you the chair?
Point of order, Madam President. I think we're
Yeah.
off topic. The request for future board agenda items. So it's an opportunity for board members to just name an item. There's no debate. There's no discussion. And then the president will look at it and implement it. If you have some considerations, then please just communicate directly with me or the president or vice president with suggestions, and then we can sort of follow up with that.
All right, board, we're gonna move on quickly, and seeing that we have, that we don't have any more discussion on that, I am seeking a motion to go into closed session.
I'm moving. We go into closed session pursuant to
Oh, just a closed session.
closed session
Uh-huh.
pursuant to 610.021 sections 1, 2, 3, 11, and 13 of the revised Missouri statutes.
Okay. I have a motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay. The motion has been properly moved and seconded. Ms. Hicks, could you call the roll?
Ms. Barmore,
Aye.
Ms. Berger,
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Ms. Kendrick,
Aye.
Mr. Townsend,
Aye.
Ms. Graves.
Aye. Chair votes aye. Motion passes 6-0. Our meeting is now over. We will go into closed session. Thank you. Have a good evening.
So what I was trying to say for that, it's just request. So you're not gonna just take your time very much, and then we'll go, let them just, because once you start going back,
Do I need to sign? I need to sign.
Demolition.
Oh, okay.
So I just need you to sign this for us and we'll get it started.
Oh, that's all right. I just wanted to make a comment, but hold on 1 second. Hi. I'm Beth Berger. I did, but she answered it. I wanted to know how many young ladies were in your program. That's not enough.
So that means you got to sell.
I'm just trying to get other trades involved.
That's right. That's right.
That's my thing. And I know welding is great. My nephew went through the program.
About 10 every night.
So I know it's a good program. So I'm excited about it.
Thank you.
You gotta sell it to the girls too.
Oh, I will.
They need to be glaziers, and they need to be carpenters, and they need to be welders, and operating engineers. We can get them all. We have that opportunity.
I'll start working on that.
I am working on that too.
Okay, so we'll be able to.
I'm really working on it. It's a personal goal.
Yes, ma'am. We'll be a team on that.
Thank you for presenting. Thank you for coming.
So we were messing. I just want to give a great job for you one more time.
I just wanted to tell you, it's amazing that your tax expenses are going to
Anytime you need anything,
Jerron McGee would help you out.
Yes, ma'am.
Pay taxes in Grandview.
Delicious.
Oh.
Isn't that weird?
Very weird.
Okay, well, I'll be here.
thank you again for our honor. Thank you. Thank you.
It's good to see you. Thank you.
Hi, Carla. Let me ask you. Nice to meet you. Uh-huh. Have people back in the audience? Yeah, I know. It is nice. So long.
It is a week. Some people celebrate for months.
Yeah,
So that's why.
everything what? Yes. Because I was gonna ask.
The thing you had to make a motion
All right, take care.
set our policy meeting and all that. Okay, so she wants to have an attitude. So I'm gonna try not to yell at everybody.
So,
And so there was nothing against you being vice president, nothing against that. It's just that there was other qualified people. But, no, she has everything, so.
Yeah, some of this don't make any sense. So I was confused because I thought, um,
Some of them don't turn off, believe it or not.
yeah, I
Some
thought
of
it
the mics
was.
do not turn off. I've been trying to do them for years.
I thought it was a PowerPoint, but it's just a PDF. So I'm like,
Oh.
really transitioning.
Oh, yeah. See.
than me. We're glad to help you.
Okay, thanks. Yes, sir. Maybe I'll have my daughter send you an email.
There you go.
Okay, so
Seeing no more business.
seeing no more business, the meeting is adjourned at 8:53. Thank you.